Hi everyone, this is Claire from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make a forest series retro flower bouquet, eucalyptus style. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for Susan's family to view it. This product consists of two parts, the flower bouquet and the wrapping. The bouquet includes pine cones, roses, and pom-pom chrysanthemums, eucalyptus leaves and cotton. First, make the bouquet separately, then proceed with the packaging. Let's start by learning how to crochet the pine cone. The pine cone is divided into three parts, the main body, the scales, and the stem. Start by crocheting the main body, then attach the scales onto the main body, and finally assemble the stem. For the main body, use the magic ring method. Crochet in rounds. You need to stuff it before crocheting the last two rounds. The stitches used include chain, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet increase, and single crochet decrease. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Before we start crocheting, let's first learn the proper posture for crocheting. To make it more convenient for everyone to watch clearly, I will demonstrate using cotton yarn. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Wrap the yarn tail around the left little finger once. Pass it through between the middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand. Position the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Form a loop on the hook. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Make sure the loop is large. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Continue pinching the loop. Keep the size consistent. The adjustable magic ring is now complete. Next, we'll work on the first round. Start with a chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This chain does not count as a stitch. Work the single crochets around the ring. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. There will be two loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops on the hook. That completes one single crochet stitch. Above the single crochet, there is a V shape formed by two strands of yarn. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue working single crochets. Insert your hook into the magic ring. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, draw through the two loops on hook. That completes the second single crochet. For the first round, you need to work 6 single crochets in total. Continue to finish the remaining single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6. After that, close the magic ring. Pull the yarn tail tight to tighten the center of the fabric piece. Then join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. This is the second chain from the yarn tail on the left side. One, two. It's this large chain. If you can't tell otherwise, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still this stitch. Insert your hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. and pull through all loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. It doesn't count as a stitch. You need to tighten it, so you don't accidentally add extra stitches later. The first round is now complete. Move on to the second round. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. The stitch looks like this, with 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The strand farther from you is the back loop. Insert the hook into the back loop of the first stitch in the round. Crochet 1 single crochet increase. That means you'll work 2 single crochets into this one strand. Place the starting yarn tail above the crochet hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The single crochet increase is now completed. Continue by working a single crochet increase into the back loop of the next stitch on the left. Don't forget to weave in the yarn ends. The second single crochet increase is now complete. The pattern for this round of crochet involves working increases into the back loops of stitches from the previous round. Correspondingly, make single crochet increases. Next, finish crocheting the remaining single crochet increases. After completing the last single crochet increase, check the stitch count. Count back from the last stitch to verify the number of stitches. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. There are a total of 12 stitches in this round. The total number of stitches for each round is marked in the corresponding table. I won't explain this further moving forward. Next, slip stitch into the first stitch. You can take a look. Between the first stitch and the last stitch of the yarn tail, there are 2 small braids. These are the slip stitch from the previous round, and the beginning chain for this round. Skip these 2 stitches. Crochet on the first stitch. Insert into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through all the loops on the hook in one go. Slip stitch completed. Pull tight. Directly cut off the extra yarn tail from the beginning chain. You can see the texture on the right side is clearer. The wrong side is more blurred. When crocheting, keep the right side facing you. The second round is now completed. Continue with the third round. Make one chain as your beginning chain to start. Let me emphasize this again. At the beginning of each round, crochet a standing stitch. I won't repeat this for the following rounds. For this round, work into the back loop only of each stitch. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 single crochet increase. After completing that, continue working into the back loop only, and make 1 single crochet. Follow it with 1 single crochet increase. Now let's review the pattern for this round of crochet. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase. Repeat the pattern. This method is called skip 1, increase 1. Next, following this crochet pattern, complete this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. That is, at the first large braid, on the left side of the opening. Tighten the yarn. The third round is now completed. Now move on to the fourth round. For this round, continue working into the back loop only. First, work 1 single crochet increase. Then make 2 single crochets without increasing or decreasing. Next, work another single crochet increase. And then 2 single crochets. Now let's take a look at the pattern for this round of crochet. Repeat 1 single crochet increase and 2 even single crochets. This method is called increase 1 stitch every 2. Following this pattern, complete this round. After completing the round, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. The fourth round is now completed. Let's continue to the fifth round. Work into the back loops of each stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet in each stitch without increasing or decreasing. Finish this round. Once done, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The fifth round is now complete. Let's take a look. A raised texture on the right side indicates 1 round. So far, we have crocheted 5 rounds. We will start decreasing stitches in the 6th round. First, work 6 single crochets into the back loops of the stitches. Then, make 1 single crochet decrease. Insert the hook into the back loop of the next stitch on the left. Draw the yarn through. There will be 2 loops remaining on the hook. This is an incomplete single crochet. Now, make another incomplete single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch on the left. Insert the hook into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. That's 2 incomplete single crochets. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. 1 single crochet decrease is now complete. Continue with 6 more single crochets. Then make another single crochet decrease. Pick up the back loops and work incomplete single crochets. One, 2. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. Another single crochet decrease is now complete. Work 6 more single crochets. and one more single crochet decrease. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. The sixth round is now done. For the seventh round, pick up the back loops of the stitches. Work one single crochet in each stitch. Complete this round. The seventh round is now finished. Continue with the eighth round. For this round, you need to pick up stitches and crochet. First, make 2 single crochets evenly. Pay attention. Here, you'll be crocheting with 2 strands of the picked up stitches. Be sure not to crochet incorrectly. Then, work a single crochet decrease. Then, crochet 5 single crochets and 1 single crochet decrease. The crochet pattern for this round is to decrease 1 after every 5 stitches. Next, follow this pattern. Complete this round. After finishing the last single crochet decrease, crochet 3 more single crochets. Together with the first 2 single crochets, that makes 5 single crochets. Join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. The 8th round is now completed. For the 9th round, pick up the back loops of all stitches. Crochet even with single crochets. Finish this round. The 9th round is now completed. Take a look at the fabric piece. Since the 8th round was crocheted by picking up stitches, there are 2 rounds of raised textures between these 2 horizontal lines. You need to count 2 rounds to match them. Don't miss any rounds. The crochet method for the remaining part of the main body is relatively simple. All the stitch techniques used have been demonstrated in detail earlier. The total number of stitches for each round, the number of increased stitches, and the increase pattern can all be referenced in the table. Pay attention. For all even-numbered rounds, you will crochet by picking up stitches. For odd-numbered rounds, you will crochet using half loops. When counting rounds, there are always 2 rounds between line segments. Don't miss any rounds. Everyone, follow the chart, and refer to the previous demonstrations to continue crocheting. You also need to stuff while crocheting. Do this when you have 2 rounds left to crochet. I'll demonstrate the stuffing method with this sample swatch. Fluff up the stuffing, and then firmly stuff it inside. You can use scissors to help with the process. Once it's roughly firm, shape the curvy side by pinching the fabric. Pay attention not to stuff it too tight. A slightly loose and soft stuffing gives a better effect. That's the method for stuffing. For the final round of the main piece, pick up stitches and crochet. Start with one single crochet decrease. Then work one single crochet. Continue by decreasing every other stitch. Complete this round. After finishing, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Leave the yarn tail for now. Don't do anything with it yet. That completes the final round. Everyone, take a look. This is what the completed main part of the pine cone looks like. Next, we'll crochet the pine cone scales. Let's check out the finished product. Follow the remaining half stitches on the main body of the pine cone. Crochet in rounds on the back side. The new stitch used here is the double crochet and the double crochet increase. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with round 1. Continue crocheting from the ending position of the main piece. Turn the work piece counterclockwise on the last stitch of the final round of the main part. Work one slip stitch. Transition the yarn tail to this position. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet in this stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through these 2 loops. 1 double crochet is now complete. The braid on the upper right is the stitch of this double crochet. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch in the same stitch. Pull these 2 slip stitches through. Treat 2 chains and 1 double crochet as 1 small petal. This round involves skipping 1 stitch. Crochet a small petal like this. Let me demonstrate again. Skip the stitch on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch in the second stitch. Crochet 1 chain. Then work 1 double crochet in this stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this twice. 1, 2. Another double crochet is done. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch in the same stitch. The second petal is now crocheted. Follow these steps. Skip 1 stitch. Crochet another petal. After completing, at the entry position of the first petal, work 1 slip stitch. Then secure the yarn tail. Stretch the loop. Pass the fabric through the loop. Slightly tighten. The yarn tail is now secured. The first round is complete. Move on to the second round. Let's take a look. On the main part, there are half stitches left from the previous stitches. They form small segments in circles. There is a row of slip stitch marks here. Position the tip of the main part towards yourself. Locate the first round of small segments below. Join the yarn on the small segment to the left of the slip stitch marks. Insert the hook into this segment. Pull the yarn tail through. Adjust the loop size slightly. Pay attention. Don't pull the carried yarn too tight, to prevent the fabric from shrinking. Chain 1 for transition next. Work 1 double crochet in this position. Chain 1 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the same spot. This small petal is now completed. Continue, skipping one segment. Crochet 1 small petal on the second segment from the left. Skip one segment. Crochet 1 small petal. Finish this round. Complete the last small petal. Work 1 slip stitch in the insertion point of the first small petal. Secure the yarn tail. The second round is now completed. Continue to the third round. Start at the position of the next segment in the following round. Join the yarn on the segment to the left of the slip stitch mark. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 double crochet in this position. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the same spot. Treat these stitches as one medium petal. Let me demonstrate it again. Skip one segment as an interval. Work 1 slip stitch on the second segment from the left. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 2. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. Another medium petal is done. Skip one more segment and continue downward. Crochet 1 medium petal. Finish this round. Work the last medium petal on the final segment. After completing, join with a slip stitch on the first segment. Secure the yarn tail. The third round is now complete. For the fourth round, follow the same method as the third round. Work one medium petal for every skipped segment. Complete them by referring to the previous demonstration. Start working on large petals from the fifth round. I'll demonstrate with this sample. On this round of segments, join the yarn on the segment to the left of the slip stitch mark. Work 2 chains for transition. Crochet 1 double crochet increase in this position. In other words, work 2 double crochets in this spot. 1, 2. The double crochet increase is now complete. Continue with 2 more chains. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. This large motif is now completed. Let me demonstrate again. Skip 1 segment. Pick up the second segment from the left and work 1 slip stitch. 2 chains for transition. Crochet 1 double crochet increase in this position. Then, chain 2. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. Another large motif is now done. Skip 1 segment and crochet 1 large motif downward. Finish this round. The last large motif should be crocheted on the final segment of this round. Then, join with a slip stitch on the first segment. Secure the yarn tail. Round 5 is now completed. For the remaining motifs below, work them in the corresponding positions. Join the yarn on the segment to the left of the slip stitch marks. Skip 1 segment and crochet 1 motif. Rounds 6 and 7 involve crocheting the large motifs. The remaining 3 rounds are for crocheting the medium motifs. The chart only shows the method for crocheting the motifs. The exact quantity should be crocheted based on the number of small segments in each corresponding round. Refer to the previous demonstration. Complete them. After finishing the last round of motifs, leave a tail of about 5 centimeters and break the yarn. Hide the yarn tail inside the pine cone. Look, everyone. This is what the pine cone looks like after all the motifs are completed. Next, assemble the branches. Take out a thick wire. Apply a little glue to the top end. Insert it into the center of the pine cone's starting point. Insert it a bit deeper for a more secure hold. Then apply a little glue on the thick wire below the pine cone. Take out the contrasting color yarn corresponding to the branch. First, stick the yarn tail to the thick wire below the pine cone. Then start wrapping the yarn. Wrapping tightly and neatly will look better. Wrap to the desired length. Apply a little glue on the thick wire to secure it. Cut off any excess yarn tails. This completes one pine cone branch. Everyone can follow the same method. Refer to the chart to make the corresponding number of pine cones. Cut the thick wire in the middle. The number of pine cones that need to be assembled with half a thick wire should refer to the diagram. Up to this point, the making method of the pine cone is now complete. Next, we will crochet roses. We will start from foundation chain, work back and forth. After completing, roll it up, and sew together to form the flower. Finally, assemble the stem. The new stitches used are treble crochet, half double crochet and double treble crochet. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with casting on. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Hold the hook with your right hand. Position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Now start crocheting chains. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. One chain is completed. This braid represents one stitch. Continue crocheting chains, yarn over and draw the yarn through. This is the second stitch. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting chains, keep crocheting until you finish the required number of stitches. Here, my swatch has fewer beginning chains. Refer to the chart for the exact stitch count. 3, 4. That completes the starting chain. Next, start crocheting row 1. First, make one chain as your beginning chain. Then, work one single crochet. The right side of the chain looks like this V-shaped braid. Pick up with the hook into the second half loop from the left on top. 1, 2, that is, this single strand of yarn. Crochet 1 single crochet. Continue by picking up the loop from the top of the left chain braid. Work 1 short needle increase, SC2 in 1. Alternate crocheting single crochets and increases, all the way down. Finish this row. Complete the single crochet increase on the last chain. The first row is now completed. Move on to the second row. This row consists of petals in 4 different sizes. Let's start with the smallest petals. Chain 1 is the beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Work 1 treble crochet into the 4th stitch from right to left. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice first. Then insert the hook into this stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That completes 1 treble crochet. Continue with 1 chain to start. Pick underneath the treble crochet, and work 5 double crochets. After completing them, work 1 half double crochet in this position. Yarn over, insert the hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through all the loops on the hook. That completes 1 half double crochet. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch in the insertion position of the previous treble crochet. Then secure the yarn tail. Stretch the loop. Pull the fabric piece through the loop. Gently tighten. The yarn tail is now secured. This small petal is done. Continue crocheting another small petal. Start by inserting the hook behind the previous small petal. Hook into the adjacent stitch on the right. Pull the yarn through. The yarn tail has now transitioned to this position. Next, on the left side of the previous treble crochet insertion point, skip 2 stitches. And crochet 1 treble crochet in the 3rd stitch. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over again, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook. Repeat this 3 times. And another treble crochet is completed. Then, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Pick up below the treble crochet, and crochet 5 double crochets. Crochet 1 half double crochet, yarn over, insert. Yarn over again, draw the yarn through, yarn over once more, pull the yarn through all 3 loops on your hook. And another half double crochet is done. Then crochet 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch at the insertion point of the treble crochet. Secure the yarn tail. The second small petal is now completed. Next, we'll work on the medium petal. Insert the hook from behind the small petal into the adjacent stitch on the right. Weave the yarn tail to this position. Skip 2 stitches. And crochet 1 treble crochet in the third stitch from the left. Then, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Pick up below the treble crochet, and work 9 double crochets. Then crochet 1 half double crochet. Work 1 chain as a transition. Crochet 1 slip stitch at the insertion point of the treble crochet. Secure the yarn tail. This medium petal is now finished. You can see that the method for crocheting the medium petals and large petals is similar to the small petals. It starts from behind the previous petal and joins the yarn on the adjacent stitch on the right to crochet the treble crochet. Then crochet the corresponding number of double crochets and half double crochets on the treble crochet. The difference lies in the varying amounts of double crochets for each type of petal. In my sample, there are fewer petals. The exact number of petals is marked on the chart. Please refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete the medium and large petals. Next, I'll demonstrate the technique for crocheting the extra large petals using this sample. Attach the yarn to the adjacent stitch on the right. Skip 3 stitches on the left side. Crochet 1 double treble crochet on the 4th stitch. First, wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then insert the hook into this stitch. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Now there are 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this step 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 double treble crochet is now completed. Next, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work the corresponding number of double crochets into the spot below where the double treble crochet was made. If there's no room to hook here, you can move the completed double crochet slightly to the right. Then continue to finish the remaining double crochets. After completing, work 1/2 double crochet. Chain 1 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the insertion position of the double treble crochet. Secure the yarn tail. This extra large petal is now crocheted. Let me demonstrate it one more time. First, join the yarn on the right side in the adjacent stitch. Then skip 3 stitches. Work 1 double treble crochet into the 4th stitch on the left. Yarn over 3 times. Insert your hook into this stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook sequentially. Repeat 4 times. Another double treble crochet is completed. Continue with 1 chain to start. Work the corresponding number of double crochets into this double treble crochet. Then work 1/2 double crochet. 1 chain for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the insertion point of the double treble crochet. Secure the yarn tail. Another extra large petal is now finished. Continue downward following this method. Crochet the remaining extra large petals. Finish this row. Complete the last extra large petal. Leave a 20 cm yarn tail, and break the yarn. The rose motif is now crocheted. Next, sew the rose motif together. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a darning needle, with the right side of the piece facing you. The chain braid should be facing down. Roll the piece from right to left. Be mindful not to twist the piece while rolling. Ensure all petals are right side facing up. Roughly align the foundation chain braid. After completing, secure the bottom of the piece. Pass the yarn tail from one side of the rolled rose to the other through the bottom. Be careful not to pull the yarn tail too tight. Insert the needle from the side again. Pass it through to the other side. Repeat this method a few times to secure firmly. Once sewn securely, pass the yarn tail to the center of the rose. Gently tighten it. Also bring the starting yarn tail to the center of the flower. This way, the rose is sewn together. Next, assemble the stem. Take a thick wire. Apply a little glue on the top end. Insert it into the center of the rose from the backside. Secure and glue the flower in this position. Then apply a bit of glue on the thick wire below the flower. Take the corresponding contrasting color yarn for the stem. Here, I'm choosing the contrasting colors randomly. Wrap it around in the same way as the pine cone stem. Pay attention while wrapping. Make sure to wrap the remaining yarn tails of the rose inside. Secure the end with glue. Then trim off any excess yarn tails. This way, the rose is completed. Everyone can follow the same method, and refer to the chart instructions to make the corresponding amount of roses, with matching contrasting color yarn. The quantity of roses that need to be assembled with half a thick wire should refer to the chart. Up to this point, the making method of the rose is complete. Next, we will make the pom-pom chrysanthemum. Let's take a look at the finished product. It consists of one pom-pom and a stem. For the pom-pom creation, you can refer to our previous video on how to use the pom-pom maker. If you don't use a pom-pom maker, there are many methods online using cardboard that you can refer to. The color scheme for the pom-pom, specific dimensions and quantity should refer to the chart. When making it, apart from securing the middle of the pom-pom with a yarn tail, you also need to wrap it twice with wire to fix it. Then tighten the wire below. This makes it more convenient for assembly later on. Everyone, take a look. This is what the sample pom-pom looks like after it's done. After completing it, follow the same method used for roses and pinecones. Then wrap the branches below the pom-pom. The quantity of ping pong mums that need to be assembled with half a thick wire should refer to the diagram. Up to this point, the tutorial for making ping pong mums is complete. Next, we'll learn the crocheting method for eucalyptus. Let's take a look at the finished product. It consists of small leaves, medium leaves, and large leaves. Each type of leaf uses a similar crocheting method. All of them start with the chain ring method. Start by crocheting the left petal, then crochet the right petal. After completing all parts, assemble them into a branch. Below, I'll use the small leaf as an example to demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a foundation chain of 4 chains. After finishing, let's identify the chain. On the right side, the chain forms a V-shaped braid. Wrap the chains into a circle, with the right side facing you. Pay attention. Don't twist the chains. Pick up the half loop from the top of the first chain with the crochet hook. That is, this single strand of yarn. Work a slip stitch. Tighten it. This completes the starting chain. Next, move on to crocheting the left petal. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. Pick up the stitch in the space and work 6 double crochets. While crocheting, gather the yarn tail from the starting chain a bit. After completing, slip stitch into the beginning chain to join. Pull tight. The left petal is now finished. The yarn tail of the starting chain has been worked around once. You can cut it directly. Continue with the right petal. Start by crocheting 8 chains. On the 4th chain from the hook, insert the hook into the top strand of the chain and work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The hole from the starting chain is now complete. Next, make 3 beginning chains as a turning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet. Loosen the loop temporarily. Insert the hook into the 3rd chain from the starting ring above the hole. Draw the loop through. Then work 5 double crochets into the hole where the starting chain was. After completing, join with a slip stitch in this chain. Continue with 1 chain. On the double crochet to the left of the starting standing stitch, work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Fasten off normally. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side of the piece. This small leaf is now complete. Continue downward following this method, crocheting leaves of different sizes. Note, the starting chain for both the medium leaves and large leaves is 5 chains. Don't crochet into the wrong hole. The quantity of leaves needed for each branch is marked on the chart. Refer to the pattern and crochet them all. After finishing all the leaves required for one branch, it's time to assemble the branch. Start by taking a small leaf. Cut a piece of thin wire. Pass the wire through the middle position, on the back side of the leaf. Insert these 2 wires. Pay attention. Make sure the thin wire doesn't show on the front side of the leaf. Then place the leaf in the middle of the wire. Fold it and tighten. Next, take the thick wire. Apply a little glue to the top of the wire. Secure the small leaf at the tip of the thick wire. Align the thin wire with the thick wire. Wrap the thick wire with the corresponding contrasting color yarn. After wrapping the thick wire, Secure it with glue when done. Trim off any excess yarn tails. Then, according to the quantity and order of leaves marked on the chart, insert the thick wire through the hole in the middle of each leaf. Make sure all leaves are right side facing up. Leave a little space between each leaf. After all leaves are threaded onto the thick wire, adjust the distance and angle between the leaves again. Apply a bit of glue in the middle of the leaves to secure them in place. This eucalyptus branch is now assembled. Make and assemble the rest of the branches in the same way. Refer to the diagram for the exact number of branches. Next, crochet the cotton. Let's take a look at the finished product. It consists of an outer shell and a cotton ball. Start by completing the cotton ball first. Then use the magic ring method. Crochet the outer shell in rounds. Assemble everything after it's done. The new stitch used is the treble crochet decrease. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start by making the cotton ball inside, that is, glue these white round balls together to form a 5-lobed cotton shape. Use glue to secure them into the shape of cotton. After applying the glue, hold it tightly like this for a while. This will make it more secure. There you go. One cotton ball inside is now complete. Next, follow this method and refer to the pattern instructions to complete the rest of the cotton balls on your own. After finishing all the cotton balls, you will need to crochet the outer shell. I'll continue demonstrating with the cotton yarn. The color scheme is random. Start with a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around your finger. Crochet 5 single crochets in the first round. Tighten the loop. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. That completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Chain 1 to start. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. As you go, make sure to secure the starting yarn tail. Finish this round. Working even with single crochets will naturally curl the fabric. Adjust the fabric so the right side faces out. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. You can cut off the starting yarn tail directly. That completes the second round. For the third and fourth rounds, follow the chart sequence. Work single crochets or single crochet increases as indicated. Refer to the previous demonstrations to complete them. I'll demonstrate the fifth round method using this sample swatch. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. Work 1 treble crochet decrease. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook into the next stitch below. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step 2 times. 1, 2. There are 2 loops on the hook now. This is an incomplete treble crochet. Continue by picking up the next stitch on the left and working the second stitch. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step 2 times. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. That is 2 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in one go. This completes the treble crochet decrease. Work 3 chains next. Work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Continue by working 1 slip stitch in the left chain of the foundation chain. Chain 4 as a transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the stitch below. Then work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch on the left. Treat these stitches as one pattern group. Repeat this pattern group as you continue working downward. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Start by working 1 slip stitch in the stitch on the left. Chain 3 as a transition. Then work 1 treble crochet decrease. Insert the hook into these 2 stitches first. Work 1 incomplete treble crochet in each of them. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in one go. This completes the treble crochet decrease. Continue with 3 chains. Start from the second chain from the hook. Correspondingly work 2 slip stitches. Chain 4 as a transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the stitch below. Pick up the adjacent stitch on the left and work 1 slip stitch. Another pattern group is now completed. Continue downward following this method. Finish crocheting this round. Complete the last petal. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Secure with one chain. Leave a tail of about 30 centimeters and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through and tighten. The 5th round is now completed. The cotton cover is now crocheted. After completing the cover, proceed to assemble the cotton. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Place the cover with the right side facing you. Insert the sewing needle from front to back through the group of stitches on the left. Work a treble crochet decrease at the insertion point on the right. Slightly tighten. Take out the cotton ball. Pull it out from the center. Then pick up the corner of this group of motifs. You should now have 2 strands of yarn. Pull the yarn through. Adjust the placement of the cotton ball. Match any 2 intersection points between the white balls with this group of motifs. Then draw the yarn through the insertion point of this single crochet. Tighten it. Next, insert the yarn into this single crochet stitch. Then come out from below the adjacent motif on the left side. At the insertion position for this single crochet, insert it again into the stitch above. Follow the same method. And secure this corner as well. Pull tight. Next, follow the same method to secure all the remaining corners. Once completed, draw the yarn tail out from the center of the starting chain of the outer shell. The shell and cotton ball are now assembled. Then take the thick wire. Apply a small amount of glue on the tip. Insert it into the center of the starting chain of the outer shell. Pay attention to ensure the length of the wire inserted is appropriate. If it's too short, it won't be secure. If it's too long, it won't look good. Continue applying glue on the wire below the shell. Take the thread of the branch and wrap it around the branch. After wrapping a sufficient length, secure it with glue. Trim off any excess yarn tails. This completes one cotton flower. Continue making the rest of the cotton flowers in the same way. Refer to the chart for the exact number of flower branches needed. Refer to the chart for the number of cotton flowers that require half a piece of thick wire for assembly. Next, wrap the bouquet. Here is the finished product. First, bundle all the flower branches into a bouquet, then attach the white tulle. Next, wrap it with wrapping paper. Finally, add the bow. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific wrapping technique. Let's start by making the bouquet. Take out 5 flower branches with shorter stems first. The types of flowers in my sample are random. I will only demonstrate the method. Arrange them neatly in a staggered pattern to form a bouquet. The actual types are not fixed. Adjust according to your preference. After completing, use the remaining yarn tails to wrap and secure it tightly. Tie a simple knot. Then take out some longer branches. Add them to the bouquet you made earlier. There are fewer flower branches in my sample. The specific types and quantities are not fixed. Adjust the position of the branches and the curve of the bends. Make sure the different flower branches are staggered. Make it look nice overall, with a sense of layers. After adjusting to a shape you're satisfied with, wrap a few rounds with the yarn tail and secure it. Tie a double knot. Continue adding the remaining branches to the bouquet. There are fewer flower branches in my sample swatch. The types are random. Don't use this as a reference, only demonstrating the method. Adjust the position of the flower branches to make the bouquet firm and full, and nice looking. After completing, secure it with the yarn tail. Next, leave about 15 centimeters below the flower branches as the handle. Cut off all the excess wire. Everyone, take a look. The sample bouquet is now done. Next, we'll handle the white tool. Cut a segment of the remaining strand and thread it into the sewing needle. Stitch one row between these two sewing lines on the white tool. After completing, sew 2 more stitches at the starting position to secure it. Slightly tighten the sewing line. Pay attention. The shorter layer of the white tulle should face outward. This will form a ring like this. Slip it over the bouquet we tied earlier. Adjust the position of the white tulle. Ensure the joining point of the white tulle is positioned toward the back of the bouquet. Pull the yarn tail tight. Tie a knot. Position the front edge of the white tulle downward. Wrap a few rounds to secure it. Then take out the remaining yarn tail. Wrap a few rounds around the base of the white tulle to secure it. Cover the entire bottom edge of the white tulle. Continue wrapping downward to cover all the stems below. Once completed, tie a few knots to secure the yarn tail in place. Trim off any excess yarn tails. Now the white tulle is attached. Proceed to wrap the bouquet with wrapping paper moving downward. First, take a sheet of wrapping paper. Use the golden side as the back side. Fold the wrapping paper in half neatly. Cut it into 2 rectangular sheets like this. Take another sheet of wrapping paper. Fold it in half twice. Cut it into square shapes like this. My sample swatches are all cut and ready. Next, overlap the 2 rectangular wrapping papers. Place the bottom one with the back side facing up. The other one should have the front side facing up. Stagger the pointed corners at the top. This will form a shape like this. Place the bouquet between these 2 sheets of wrapping paper. Leave a little distance at the top. Then wrap the sides of the wrapping paper upward to cover the base of the bouquet. Adjust the position of the bouquet slightly. Then wrap a few times with the yarn tail to secure it. Tie a simple knot. Next, take out a square piece of wrapping paper. Place it with the backside facing up. Fold both sides inward. Note that the width of the fold at the top is smaller. The bottom end overlaps slightly in the middle. This forms a trapezoidal shape that is wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. Place the side that was folded inward facing the bouquet. Wrap it around the left side of the bouquet. Pay attention to the height of the backside. It should be level with the top half of the position above where the previous 2 pieces of wrapping paper were tied. This is approximately halfway up from the bundling position. Use the space between your thumb and forefinger to wrap downward around the bouquet. The front will naturally shorten as you move downward. This creates a slanted edge like this. Secure this spot by wrapping the yarn tail twice around it. Tie a double knot. Continue by taking out another square piece of wrapping paper. Place it with the front side facing up. Fold it into a trapezoid in the same way. Wrap the front side of the bouquet. The height should be slightly lower than the previous piece. Secure it in the same way by wrapping the yarn tail a few times. Take out the third square piece of wrapping paper. Place it with the backside facing up, fold it into a trapezoid shape. Then use it to wrap the right side of the bouquet. The position should be symmetrical to the wrapping paper on the left side. Secure it with the yarn tail. Take out the fourth piece of wrapping paper. Place it with the backside facing up, fold it into a trapezoid shape as well. Wrap it around the front side of the bouquet. Make sure it is slightly higher than the middle piece inside. Tidy up the bottom to make it flat. Secure it by wrapping the yarn tail a few times. Tie a simple knot. Next, cut off the excess part of the wrapping paper at the bottom. Trim it neatly. Finally, tie a bow at the bundling position. Adjust the size of the bow. Trim the ends of the ribbons. Create a forked shape like this. The bouquet is now wrapped. Up to this point, the making method for this bouquet has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.